There are some accessory glands that are known as salivary glands. The most important one is the parotid gland. That is on the lateral aspect. Okay, so here it is. This pink structure is the parotid gland. There is also a parotid gland on the right side. The second gland is known as sublingual gland, okay, which is this gland under the tongue. It's also found in this part of the model. So this is also the sublingual gland. The third gland is the submandibular gland, which is under the mandible. This pink structure is the submandibular gland. Those three glands secrete saliva in the oral cavity. Okay, so once the food goes into the mouth and it's mixed with saliva, it's now called a bolus. The bolus is pushed by the tongue posteriorly into the oropharynx, and from here it goes into this narrow duct, which is the esophagus. Okay, so this is the esophagus, this narrow duct in the back. I can ask you to identify the esophagus here or here. Okay, so this is also, this narrow duct is also the esophagus. Okay. I can also ask you to identify the esophagus in this lower part of the model, down here. This light green duct is also the esophagus. The esophagus is a muscular duct that has peristalsis to direct the food into the stomach. So here's the stomach. Where did the bottle go? Where did it go, the stuff that fell on the floor?
It was that, right?
Oh,
the green thing.
Yeah, but okay. Where is the model? Where is the stomach? I had it all. Where did it go?
No, we never have the stomach.
No? I thought I did. See.
It was the green
Last
thing
time would
with
you
the
give me
rocky
the
inside?
stomach and the part of the intestine?
Was it the green thing with like
Yeah.
the rocky?
Mm-hmm. Where did it go? Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so this is the stomach. The stomach is connected to the esophagus, so this is how they're connected. And the first portion of the stomach is the cardiac. This part is called the fundus. This is the body of the stomach, and here's the pylorus. Inside of the stomach is the rugae. It's a fold of the mucosa. It's where hydrochloric acid and the other substances of the stomach are produced. Okay, so that's the stomach, and then the food remains for about 4 hours in the stomach. It's mixed with the hydrochloric acid and all the enzymes. And at the end of 4 hours, it comes through the pyloric region, and it's now called chyme. So that chyme goes to the first portion of the small intestine that is called the duodenum or duodenum. So this is the duodenum, or first portion of the small intestine. I'm going to show you a posterior view so that you can see this better. Okay, so this is the duodenum. It's like a C-shaped organ. So it gets the chyme from the stomach, and it also receives pancreatic juice from the pancreas. This organ is the pancreas. This duct, this white duct, is the pancreatic duct. So the pancreatic duct goes to the duodenum through this little duct. I don't know if you can see it. This pink duct is the major duodenal papilla. The major duodenal papilla, in addition to the secretions from the pancreas, it also receives bile from the liver and from the gallbladder. If you look at the back of the duodenum, you'll see a green duct. That's the common bile duct that also drains into the major duodenal papilla. So this is the first portion of the small intestine or duodenum. The second portion of the small intestine is called jejunum. Everything that I have in my hand is the jejunum. Okay, all of this is the jejunum, and it ends here. The third portion of the small intestine is this. It's called the ileum. Okay, this is the ileum. The ileum is the last portion of the small intestine, so the food will go from the ileum into the large intestine. The beginning of the large intestine is here. This is called the cecum. This green structure on the side is called the appendix. This is the ascending colon. The food will then go into the transverse colon. So this is the transverse colon. And then it will continue to the descending colon. Then it will go into the sigmoid colon. This is the rectum. And this is the anus. Okay? Now, remember that when we dissected the cat, we saw the the greater omentum or fatty apron that was basically an adipose tissue with some blood vessels, and we learned that it was connected to the greater curvature of the stomach. So this yellow tissue is the greater omentum, okay, or fatty apron. Now if I remove all of this large intestine and the jejunum, then I will find another tissue, this kind of transparent tissue that is highly vascularized. That's the mesentery. Okay, so the mesentery is basically what keeps together all the regions of the large intestine. Any questions? Okay, let's look at the liver. The liver is an organ that is located in the right hypochondriac region, okay, or right upper quadrant. It has 4 lobes. This is the right lobe of the liver. This is the left lobe. And to see the other 2 lobes, you need to see a posterior or inferior view of the liver. The quadrate lobe is this lobe next to the gallbladder, and the caudate lobe is this lobe up here next to the inferior vena cava. The gallbladder is this dark green structure. The function of the gallbladder is to store and concentrate bile, but bile is actually produced within the liver. Next to the gallbladder, you will find a duct, this dark green duct. It's called the cystic duct. The cystic duct is directly connected to the gallbladder. Bile, as I said before, is produced within the liver, and all the bile that is produced within the liver is collected by a duct called hepatic duct. The hepatic duct in this model appears like a Y-shaped structure. Okay, so that's the hepatic duct. The hepatic duct will fuse with this cystic duct, which is here, and when they fuse, they form a large duct that is called the common bile duct. The common bile duct, as I showed you before, goes to the duodenum or first portion of the small intestine. Okay? Any questions? Okay, I think take a look and make sure that I show you all the structures. I think I did. I don't think I missed anything. And if I did, let me know.
Yeah, I think that's it.